right. Welcome everyone to today's info session on how to prepare for an international internship. My name is Jade from the Faculty of Arts Internship Office, and today we have a few guests joining us. So our agenda for today is to go through these different resources. So first, how to find an international internship abroad. We will have a presentation from Veronica Bakdu from the Scholarship and Student Aids Office to talk about other funding resources available to students. We also have Anna from the Safety Abroad Office talking about the requirements for internships abroad. And we also have a student speaker today, Sarah, who is the past intern, and will share her experience preparing for international internship. And finally, I'll wrap up with some resources on the next steps and staying in touch. And as I mentioned, we'll have time for questions at the end. So feel free to send them in the chat throughout the session, and hopefully we'll answer them. But if not, we will have time for questions. Right, so let's get started. So for those of you who are newer to the Arts Internship Office, we offer different types of resources related to internships. So not only internship opportunities, but as we'll talk today, there is also funding opportunities, training, and mentorship opportunities available through our office. This is the timeline that we always like to share with students because this is always a question that we get of, am I too early? Am I too late? When should I start? When should I do my internship? So if you're asking yourself those questions, just to note that all of our resources really focus on summer internships because there's no co-op program in the Faculty of Arts. So that means that you're not obligated to do an internship. It is really your decision, but we really encourage students to do it in the summertime so that you can put all of your resources towards that experience and come back to your studies in the fall and really focus on your studies during the semester. And especially for an international internship, you want to make sure to have the time to travel and not interrupt your studies. So now, as you can see, October to December is really the best time to start finding your summer internship. Once again, especially for an international experience, it's better to start as early as possible to make sure that you have all the resources, but you're already doing the right thing by being here today and getting all the information on how to best prepare for this kind of opportunity. January to March is where a lot of our internal deadlines are happening. And April is where, you're finishing your semester, you're doing finals, and you're really getting started to leave for your opportunity. And to note that most of our opportunities take place between May to August, so they usually start early May. So again, it might seem early to start thinking about next summer, but truly to prepare for international travel, now is really the right time to gather all the information and get started. So first of all, finding an internship abroad. So I'll talk about the different resources available to you. So through our office, there are three types of internships that we offer. So the first one are internship postings, and those are partnerships with organizations that are reserved for Faculty of Arts students. Secondly, we offer you resources to find your own internship outside of the partnerships that we have. And thirdly, we also have research internships that are on campus. I will mention them briefly today because it's possible to have a travel component to that, but I won't go into as much detail. The main eligibility criteria for all of our opportunities, we only offer resources for Faculty of Arts students. That does include arts and science, social work, theology, and master's students, under the condition that you are returning to McGill in the same program in the fall semester following the internship. So in this case, fall 2026. So we do not offer resources for graduating students. And most of our programs have GPA requirements of 2.7, but we do have room for explanation if you had a health issue or something impact your GPA a certain way. There is room for explanation in the application forms, but just a note of these main requirements. So as I mentioned, we do not offer resources for graduating students, but we do encourage you to go to the career planning service that we'll refer to a few times during this presentation. But through the career planning service, which is the career services that are offered to everybody on campus, they have certain internship opportunities and fellowships that are open to everyone on campus, including graduating students. So some of them are especially targeting graduating students. So again, these are not offered through our office, but we really encourage you to consult those resources. And you do have access to career planning services after 1 year after graduating. So once again, those would be resources for graduating students. So I'll go into a bit more detail about each of the internship types that I mentioned. So first of all, the internship postings. Those are partnerships that we have with host organizations, both locally and internationally. The advantage of those opportunities is that obviously there is a spot reserved for a Faculty of Arts student, and that our office facilitates the selection of the interns. So you apply to our office and we do a first round of shortlisting, and then we forward those applications to the host organization, and they're the ones making the final decision. And all of these positions come with an award, so they are all funded. And again, all of the details and amounts vary depending on the posting, the length of the internship, whether there's travel component or not. To apply for AIO postings, so actually first I will show you a bit around our websites. Can everybody see the website on the screen? Yep, okay. So if you Google Faculty of Arts Internship Office, this is our landing page. If you go right under internships and internship postings, first of all, the internship page, you have a recording of the last info sessions that we had that explains more generally all of the resources that we offer. And again, more information about some of the content that I'll cover today. Under internship posting, you can review all of the application details from last summer. But again, just to know that everything that is on the website is related to summer 2025, and we're currently in the process of obtaining everything for summer 2026. However, our partnerships are recurring, so you can already consult the postings and the definitions of last year's opportunities. And so what it will look like is there are different categories based on your field of interest. And for each opportunity, there is a small description, some links to last year's interns, as well as what we call the posting itself, which is the PDF with it's the job posting, with all the requirements from the organization, the duties and responsibilities, the hours, the dates, the award amount. So once again, these were the award amounts for summer 2025. So just to keep in mind that things might change. But you can already consult these documents to get an idea of which internship postings will be interesting to you. So to go back to my slides. So at this stage of the internship search, we really recommend that you read through all the different categories as I showed on the website, and to find which area you're interested in. Are you a political science student? Do you want to do diplomacy? Are you interested in climate change? Do you want to work with a smaller NGO, a larger organization? To already kind of ask yourself those questions. And in order to do that, you can read, as I mentioned, the past intern stories, as well as the postings from last summer, and as well as to get a feel of the requirements. So again, we're consulting with the host organizations to see if there are any changes to be made. However, some of the postings have requirements in terms of the language or citizenship. So just to always carefully read the requirements on the postings, whether that's our partnerships or any job posting that you're reading through. To note with the AIO postings is that there is always a limit of 3 postings per application. So you have to make your selection of 3, so your top 3, and choose the ranking. So we'll take into consideration as well the ranking. Again, the reasoning behind that is that we really want quality applications rather than quantity. We understand that it can be, we always said to also multiply your applications when you look for an internship, to not just put all your eggs in one basket. However, with this application process, it's quite different than another one where you really have the opportunity to learn from last year's intern, to meet with them, to ask them questions. So we really want students to take the time to do the research and to make sure that it's the right fit, because otherwise it's also a waste of time for both the students and the organization, to apply blindly to all of them. So it's important to really take the time to do your research and really learn about what the internship really is, also to make sure that you have the right expectations going in. And again, we really recommend talking to last year's interns to have to hear from their experiences. Again, the preference ranking matters. You can also read for all of that on the website. We really recommend, I'll share all the resources at the end, but to talk to one of our advisors and to address all the questions to our office. So again, through the partnerships, to not reach out to our organizations directly, but to address them through our office, and we will answer them. And we do not review individual applications before the application deadline. However, we offer a number of resources to help you prepare for the materials of the application. Again, you can consult on the website, but the main elements for this application are a CV and a cover letter for each of the postings. And so our staff is not trained to do CV and cover letter review. However, again, we work with the career planning services that do offer one-on-one review of your draft, so you can bring your draft to them. And we'll go into more details, again, of all these resources and the pre-departure orientation that Anna will present in a minute. But just to keep in mind that they are required for this application form if you're applying for an internship outside of Canada. And the application form will go live around December of this year. And it's a website, a Microsoft form that you fill online, but everything is listed on the website of all the documents that you'll have to submit for the application, so there won't be any surprises. The deadlines are not out yet for summer 2026, so we really encourage you to register to the listserv to not miss on those updates, but they are upcoming in the next upcoming weeks before December. In terms of responsibilities as an intern, especially when it comes to travel, so those sections are also listed on each of the postings. Again, we'll go into more details, but just to know that the intern is responsible for all the costs associated with the internship, including transportation, accommodation. So we offer awards that offset the cost of the internship. However, the intern must be able to cover those costs up front. In terms of accommodations, you are responsible for finding a suitable lodging for the duration of the internship, as well as travel arrangements, so booking your own flights. But once again, today we'll go through the resources that are here to help you prepare for all of that. And the entry requirements that are required for this experience. And some of the postings do have a citizenship requirement, but it is not all of the postings. But once again, just make sure to read thoroughly to make sure that you don't apply to an opportunity that you don't meet the requirements for. We also have the handbook, once again, from summer 2025, but each summer we prepare a handbook for students that really covers all of the different resources available to you, everything for preparing before, during, and after your internship. So if you are selected for a posting, it also comes with certain requirements and responsibilities as an intern. So there are a few reports and for example, taking pictures that you'll send to our office. So if you are interested, I would encourage you to have a look through the handbook for all the information. Once again, we will update it by the end of the semester with the information for summer 2026, but it can be a good reference for now. In terms of the posting, so once again, you can go through all the different sections to see which ones are interesting to you. The majority of our postings are with local organizations. However, we do have a number of international postings. Excuse my voice. So we have certain partnerships in the United States. So we have the Délégation du Québec government in New York City, as well as 2 or 3 opportunities in Maine. Those ones are reserved for US citizens. I think I put it in the Q&A at the end, but with the current climate, we do discourage non-US citizens to do internship opportunities in the US. So to keep in mind that certain opportunities, again, might be reserved for certain citizenship requirements. For internships outside of North America, our current partnerships are with different missions of Canada in Vienna, Austria, as well as two opportunities in Panama with the UN World Food Program and UNFPA, as well as the Center for Democratic Development in Accra, Ghana. So again, you can go on our website and browse through these opportunities and review the details from last summer. As I mentioned earlier, we also offer research internships. So those are internships that you do also during the summer. However, they look a bit different from the other opportunities that I just mentioned. Whereas you work with a faculty member, a McGill professor on campus, and you undertake a research project that you will then present to the faculty when you return to McGill in the fall. You, for the ARIA internships, you have to find a professor that is willing to supervise you and that is willing and able to contribute half of the award, so 2,500. And then you apply jointly for the ARIA internship together. And at the end, we match the other half of the award. The student receives $5,000 for their summer internship. To note that the ARIA internships are usually more local and on campus. So you're required to be on campus for the month of May to do the mandatory training. But in the past, there has been opportunities for students to travel throughout their research projects. But again, this is something that you would discuss with your supervising professor. So I won't go into much details about the research internships today. However, we just had another info session a few weeks ago. So if you click on this link, if you go on our website in the ARIA section, you'll be able to find more information about those research internships. So if you have any questions, also you can always reach out to our staff. And finally, so again, we have the partnerships that we call postings, the ARIA internships or research internship. And we also have resources to help you find your own internship. So again, we offer different resources like a handout. Some of the questions I mentioned earlier about defining your interest, especially at the stage of your search. If you are unsure where you want to go, what field of work you would like to explore, this handout has some useful questions that you can ask yourself. We also work a lot with the career planning service once again, and they have the My Future platform that has both job postings but also internship opportunities. And so this is really the main McGill-wide platform to look for opportunities. And the career planning services also have advising sessions that you can attend to help you look through those different opportunities. And finally, we also offer the opportunity to connect with past interns. So students who find their own internship can then apply for awards through our office. So outside of the partnerships that we have. And you are also able to talk with those students by sending us an email, which I will also show you later on. So if you find your own internship, again, there is priority given to unpaid internships through our award applications. But again, there are funding resources available if you find your own internship. I put here as well, if you apply for postings, consider also looking for your own internship. Again, I really recommend talking to our advisors early on to really define your interest. And we do encourage everybody to apply for the postings. But once again, not putting all your eggs in one basket. It can also be beneficial to do your own research and apply to other opportunities outside of the ones offered by AIO. Right. So in terms of looking for your own internship, I want to give a bit more, a bit more of a description of what is an internship, what is not an internship, in terms of what is eligible for our funding. And when just to help you as you look through opportunities. So internships are experiential learning opportunities, meaning that they need to include learning objectives, training, and supervision and mentorship. So they differ from a part-time job because you really need to have a supervisor on site that gives you mentorship, and you need to go into the opportunity with a learner's mindset. You're not expected to already bring all the skills to the table, and you need to have some learning goals that are very tangible that you can reflect on after your experience. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not a mandatory part of your degree. So this is something you can do when you feel ready to do so, and again, can be adaptable to yes, where you're at in your degree. Um, and a few notes on what is not an internship and what does not qualify for the resources that I mentioned today. So a few words of warning about volunteerism. That's something that's been around, unfortunately, for quite some years now. But certain opportunities that charge students steep charges for usually international opportunities where they present it as you going to serve a community, but the impact of those opportunities end up being harmful to both the participants and the communities that they pretend to help. And it falls outside of our efforts to ensure a good learning experience for students. So if you see any opportunities on campus, or if you're unsure, I always recommend that you come to our office and send us an email to verify. As well, they kind of go hand in hand. I think the face of volunteerism has changed a bit in the last year. But just to note that any opportunity, even if it falls outside of volunteerism, that are fee-based organizations, so where you have to pay a fee, there are also a lot of organizations online where they tell you, like, if you pay us this fee, we will guarantee you a placement, an internship placement. And we've had a lot of unsafe situations happen from those opportunities. So once again, my email is here. And if you are unsure whether an opportunity is eligible or not, please make sure to consult with us before the application. Unfortunately, if you apply and we deem it that it is ineligible, we will not be able to retract. So once again, when you go through your search, be sure to verify all those elements. I know also through career planning service, they can help you on how to detect scams, and unfortunately, those do happen. So we really warn you, and especially when there's fees involved in order to find a placement. As I'm mentioning today, there are a lot of resources available to you for free on campus. So again, please feel free to let us know if anything comes up. So once again, on eligibility, the final decision does rest with the AIO on a case-by-case basis. But I really recommend for you to come to us beforehand, before applying, for example, for an award, to make sure that it does align with the standards of the faculty and the university. Again, if there are any questions, feel free to send them in the chat. So once again, if you find your own internship, all of our postings are officially sanctioned and recognized by the university. However, if you find your own internship and you want it to be officially recognized by McGill, there is one or combination of the following elements that are available to you. So you could have official recognition on your student experience record. I saw my other slide, I forgot to update it. It used to be called the co-curricular record. So I'll go into more details about that. Some departments offer academic credit courses. So even though it's not a mandatory part of your degree, there is a possibility sometimes to get credits for internships. And finally, receiving funding. So any of the award programs that we'll mention does require the opportunity to be university sanctioned and recognized by McGill officially. So first of all, the student experience record, again, formerly known as the co-curricular record, is a document that recognizes students' involvement in learning opportunities outside the classroom. So it's an official document from McGill that can be used in addition to your CV or resume, and can be sent directly to future employers or grad schools. So again, it's really a great tool to use. And it's not only for internships, but also I think for a number of workshops and other opportunities. So again, if you click on those links, you can find all of the opportunities. And again, it was recently merged with the My Future platform. So if you go on your My Future, you're able to review your records and have it printed. And again, ask for it to be sent to future employers in the future. So this is one of the easiest way for you to have your internship recognized by McGill. And it goes through each faculty. So if you're in the Faculty of Arts, it would go through our office for any opportunity that is an internship opportunity. So once again, if you're unsure whether your opportunity qualifies as an internship, you could reach out to our office or send your application through the form that is on our website, and we will be able to review your request. As I mentioned, there are also academic credit courses available. The timeline for the application is that you need to apply before you begin your internship, and that is a very important requirement that cannot be changed. So you apply before you start your internship. You conduct your internship, let's say, over the summer, and then you take the credit course when you come back in the fall. So it's not just getting credit for doing an internship. It's really a course that you take after your internship. And for most departments, it's more of like an independent research course where you write a long paper, a research paper, and really bring what you did during your internship back into your academic perspective. So it is not mandatory. It is your academic decision. There are a few postings where it is a requirement. For example, the internships in Vienna. So just to keep in mind, again, when you read through the requirements. To know that not all departments offer the course. So if you are unable to do the credit course, you will not be eligible for some of those internships where the credit course is required. All the information is on our website, and each of the departments has specific requirements. So again, those are not negotiable. Those are really set by the department, and unfortunately we cannot change those. So I won't go into too much detail, but if you are interested in the academic credits, it is all on the website. And finally, so again, if you receive any funding, your internship will be officially recognized by McGill. So in terms of funding opportunities, I've already mentioned quite a bit the Internship Award. So the awards are generously funded by McGill alumni as well as funds from the Arts Undergraduate Society. And they are partial funding to offset the internship-related costs, such as travel, accommodations, visas, and other expenses. And you can apply to the awards once you have confirmed your summer internship, to know that it is only available for internships in the summer. And last summer, we had 153 art students receive internship awards. And the eligibility criteria, as I mentioned before, it is open to all returning art students, both in bachelor's and master's. When you apply, you need to have an internship offer, and the internship needs to take place between May to August 2026. There are additional requirements listed on our website. We'll have a separate info session to really go into the steps to apply for, again, each of these opportunities. But for now, it's just to give you the information and to keep in mind that there are funding resources available, especially for travel internships. So to keep in mind, the deadline to apply will be in March 2026. So to give you a timeline of when to look for opportunities. As I mentioned before, all of the internship postings that we offer through our office, all of our partnerships are funded. So you do not need to apply in March for the awards. You will be part of the award recipients cohort automatically when you get accepted for the posting. And again, the award amounts will be specified on each of the PDF documents. For now, the amounts that are listed on the website are the ones for last summer. So it's possible that there are some changes there, but you will know ahead of time how much will the award be that you will be receiving. And again, just know you do not need to send a separate application. I will now give the mic to Veronica, who will talk a bit more about additional funding resources that are available, additional to the funding that I just mentioned. So go ahead, Veronica.
Hi, I'm Veronica, and I'm from Scholarship and Student Aid Office. I'm really glad to be here to talk to you about enriched educational opportunities. So EEOs. EEOs, I'm gonna re-elaborate since Jad kind of touched on it a little bit. They're high quality learning experience that happen outside of the classroom. These opportunities are designed to support your personal professional development, help you transition smoothly to the workplace or graduate studies, and give you real world experience through the work-based learning. So an example of an EEO includes like a field study semester, a field course, unpaid off-campus internship, which is pretty much what the focus is here, and unpaid off-campus research projects. How do you apply for an EEO need-based bursary? Our process has recently changed a little bit. Here's what you need to know. Visit our website. I put the links in the chat, the important links. Go to the scholarship and student aid site and look for enriched opportunity need-based bursary program. And you'll find the eligibility criteria and application steps there. Check with AIO for any support awards or stipend for your EEOs. That would be another step. Then you can submit your application. And by doing that, it's just a regular in-course financial aid application. Um, if At that point, if an appointment is needed, you'll be directed to book on our new self-help service appointment booking platform. And at that point, you could upload your EEO budget, your endorsement, faculty letter via that platform. It's important to note in your application that if your EEO is on your transcript, include your course number, your the number of credits, and the semester that it will appear. If the endorsement letter is not necessary because it appears on your transcript, um, you'll need, so if it's on your transcript, you won't need the endorsement letter. Um, and you'll need to mention, however, um, yeah. So if it doesn't appear on your transcript and you do need a faculty endorsement letter, in that endorsement letter, you'll need to write your type of experience, the date, and the fact that it will be added on your SER. So Jad mentioned and went through that with you a little bit. So that's going to need to appear upon your successful completion of your internship. So the eligibility criteria for bursary to be considered is you have to be a full-time student in your degree. It doesn't matter where you're from. You have to have a minimum of a CGPA of 2. If you're Canadian or US student, you must then receive maximum available government aid. And of course, you have to demonstrate financial need. So I just want to clarify that the faculty will decide what qualifies as an EEO. The bursary eligibility is determined by our office. So if you have any questions about EEOs bursary, I can answer at the end of the presentation if you like. It's not a problem. So thank you and best of luck on your internships.
Thank
That's
you so
about it
much.
for me.
Thank you, Veronica.
You're welcome.
Great. So just to clarify, that's also the art internship office can only give approval for internship experiences. So sometimes there's confusion because the EO need-based bursaries are open for other opportunities, and again, it's open for everybody on campus. So when you read the requirements on the scholarship and student aid websites, just make sure to go back to the EIO and to reread the requirements there as well. So I added here for step 3. So in order to get the endorsement letter, you need to apply for the student experience record that I mentioned earlier. And as I mentioned also, there is academic credit courses. So if you are doing that, you can mention that in your application. Just to note that in order to get the endorsement letter, the student experience record, or academic credits, all of that has to be done before you start your internship. So in order for the faculty to recognize the internship, you need to apply before you start. However, once you have that letter, once you have that recognition letter, everything is done with the AIO, then you can apply for the EO bursary at your own convenience. You can correct me, Veronica, but I believe there's no timeline, there's no deadline for you to apply for the bursary. So you can apply again during the summer or when you come back, I believe even afterwards. So again, if you don't have the financial need right away.
Ideally, we prefer if you come beforehand, so after it's
Okay, good to
more
know.
complicated. But we're here throughout the year, so there's no timeline for that.
Okay, just to explain, because on the AIO website we have very set deadlines, but just with EO again, there's a bit more flexibility, but it's always better to go to your advisors as well ahead of time to make sure that you meet the requirements and the steps. However, again, just to note that AIO can provide endorsement before you start the internship, and that we only provide approval for internship opportunities. So for field trips, for example, it would be with the person who is responsible for the field trip, etc. And that it is only for undergraduate students and for off-campus opportunities. But again, thank you, Veronica. If there are any specific questions, feel free to send them in the chat and we'll address them. Great. So I added a quick slide. So the Graduate Mobility Award, because the undergraduate, again, the EO need-based bursaries are only for undergraduate students. And so the Graduate Mobility Award are one of the resources available for graduate students. However, they are not offered by the Arts Internship Office. They are offered by the graduate program office. So again, there are a few resources that I wanted to mention. However, if you have any questions, make sure to go through the right office. So those were the funding opportunities. And now we will talk a bit more about how to prepare for the international component of the internship opportunity. And I will let Anna mention the safety abroad resources.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Ana Reynosa and I'm the new Safety Abroad Officer. And I have been invited here to walk you through the essential safety requirements that every student, McGill student, has to complete before departure. And we're talking about requirements that are mandatory if you're traveling outside of Montreal or outside of Canada. And these two requirements are one, to complete the pre-departure orientation that is mentioned here, and two, to register your university sanctioned activity in the McGill Travel Registry. And it is so important because they have to be completed before your travel. And the intention behind them is to know where you are, of course, and to give you the support you need while you are abroad. So next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about the pre-departure orientation. This is a mandatory course offered online via My Courses, and it has been designed to equip the students with basic new tools to navigate your time abroad. And it covers different things from cultural adjustment to emergency procedures and health consideration. And completing this orientation is not just a requirement, right? It's a crucial part of your preparation. And failure to complete this requirement will lead to a cancellation of your activity. So here are some important information. You have to complete the training 3 to 6 months before departure. And in our website, as you can see here, you will have the dates of registration. We open the registration to the course at the beginning of each month, and that will give you access to the training within a month. You have to complete the course. You have to receive 100% to have a certificate, which is valid for 1 calendar year. And yes, you depend on completing this course, as I said, to have the award that you need to be able to go abroad. Next, please. Yes, and we believe it's important to take a moment to talk about the travel advisories defined by the Government of Canada. And these are 4 levels in which countries or regions are classified based on safety and security. And as you can see here, there are 4 levels. 1 is to take normal security precautions, like you will do in Canada. Level 2 is exercise a high degree of caution because there are certain safety and security concerns. Level 3 is more crucial, is avoid non-essential travel. That means that your safety and security could be at risk, according to the Government of Canada. And level 4 is to avoid all travel. So that means that the Government of Canada believes your personal safety and security are at risk. And as per McGill's policy on student safety abroad, McGill students are not allowed to participate in university-sanctioned international activities in locations level 3 and level 4. So it is important to keep that in mind. Your activity won't be approved if the level of security is level 3 or 4. You won't be permitted to travel. And to wrap up, these requirements are an important part of our commitment to make you feel safe while you travel. And you can visit our website. Here you have the 3 blogs where you can understand what is the travel registry and how to use the app. That is pretty easy to use. You just have to download it in your phone and register your information. Everything you need to know about the pre-departure orientation. And third, emergency contacts, services offered by McGill or that could be useful while you are away from home. So that is all that I have to say. But if you have questions, you're more than welcome to contact our office, to contact me at the numbers that you see there. And well, safe travels. All the best in your international experience.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you,
So
Jake.
these are all the resources. I didn't put a slide for the travel registry app, but because that's something that you really do a few weeks before departure. Once you have the information of your location, and as Anna mentioned, this is an app and system that is used by McGill to make sure that everybody is safe during their experience abroad. So again, if you're getting credits, if you're getting student experience record recognition, or if you're getting an award, that means your internship is university sanctioned, and that means you're required to complete those requirements that Anna just presented. I just wanted to mention that for the pre-departure orientation, there is one exception. I believe, again, Anna, correct me if it's changed, but for students going to their country of citizenship. So you will, on the AIO forms, there will be a section to self-declare if you are going to your country of citizenship. However, if you are needing resources to prepare for travel, even if you are traveling to your country of citizenship, we do encourage you. It's not binding for you to do the pre-departure orientation ahead of time. So even if you don't end up traveling, if you're thinking of traveling, I would really recommend that you do it as soon as possible. Again, the November cycle is opening in just a few days. So mark your calendars. And again, whether you have an opportunity that is already secured or if you're just starting your search, this is really one action item that you can start with to sign up for the pre-departure orientation. Because again, once the deadline come up as of January, you will want to have your certificate of completion that you upload into the application forms.
You're right. Thank you for pointing that out.
Of course. Thank you, Anna, again for your presentation. And if you have any questions about the pre-departure orientation or registering for the My Courses orientation, please make sure to email safetyabroad at mcgill.ca. Not AIO, because unfortunately we won't be able to support you with that. Again, any questions about the travel requirements would be through the Safety Abroad office. And to note, again, for the travel advisories, again, everybody at McGill follows this ranking. So if you're thinking of destination, if you see any opportunities, always go. I can quickly show what the website looks like. It's very user-friendly. So you go on this website and then you just enter your country of destination, and then you will see there's also a color coding. And so if it is an orange or red number level 304, you will not be able to receive any of the university sanctioned opportunities, including funding. And if the category changes while you're abroad, there will also be impact, including ending the internship opportunity. So make sure to read through all those requirements and that are all listed on the Safety Abroad website. and that we also have copied on our website. But again, it's always good to go to the source and go straight to the Safety Abroad office. Again, a few quick notes. I know we're getting close to time and we still have a student speaker as well to share with you. To know that our office, the Faculty of Arts Internship Office, cannot give medical, legal, or visa advice. And they are important aspects of your travel and they are your responsibility. So even through the Safety Abroad office, each situation is very different. So be sure to get all the information. So the travel arrangements, if you are traveling for your internship, obviously that happens once you have your internship confirmed, but you need to make sure that you have your passport, visa, work permits that are ready for your travel. And it can take some time, so it's important to begin this process early. And each country has different requirements, so that's why it's very important for you to look into your situation, whether you're a Canadian citizen interning outside of Canada, non-US citizen interning in the US, or an international student. Yes, I just wanted to mention for international students with internships in Canada, that's the only time where international student services will be able to support. So if you are a Canadian or non-Canadian citizen doing an internship abroad, then we really recommend going to the embassy or the consulate of your country of destination. Once again, AIO does not offer any additional advice, and you do have certain resources that are listed on the pre-departure orientation in terms of travel permits and visas. So make sure to consult all that information ahead of time if you're considering traveling. Also to mention insurance, you must have sufficient travel and medical insurance to cover you throughout the duration of your internship. You also need to purchase coverage in case of cancellation for your airline tickets, and make sure that you have all the insurances needed. So once you have your internship secured, but good to think about ahead of time. Same thing for vaccination and medication. There might be certain requirements depending on your country of destination. Quickly mention as well that you need to have access to your McGill emails throughout the duration of your internship. So if you're traveling outside of Canada, it is possible that you don't have access to the two-factor authentication that goes through your text messages. So important to remember to download the Microsoft Authenticator app on your phone. And now I will let our past intern and the former AIO staff, Sarah, share her 3 experiences doing internship abroad and tell you a bit more about how she prepared for travel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm in my 4th year. I'm studying international development and I'm minoring in environment. Last summer, I interned with the World Meteorological Organization in Geneva, Switzerland, and in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Prior to that, I worked with the Gilgit-Baltistan Environmental Protection Agency, which is in northern Pakistan, and the IBEX Media Network, also known as IMN, also in Pakistan. So since I have completed 3 international internships with the AIO, I was asked to give you some advice regarding travel. So firstly, regarding the travel advisory that we just heard about, make sure to fill it in advance. It's directly linked to your award, so completing it on time is very important. Secondly, about the pre-departure orientation, it's offered every month, but like Jade showed us, it has some very strict registration and completion deadlines. I'd recommend doing it as early as possible. It's really not difficult, but it's very important for the award application, and I've done it 3 times for all 3 of my experiences. So really, it's like very doable, but it is essential and it helps you feel prepared. Thirdly, regarding accommodation and local logistics, I'd suggest getting guidance from your host organization on practical details like where to stay, daily commuting, getting a local SIM card, and where to buy groceries. I'd suggest thinking through all of these details and always prioritize safety. If needed, stay at a hotel for the first few days until you can finalize long-term accommodation. So, for example, this summer when I first arrived in Addis Ababa, I stayed at a hotel for the first week while visiting different studios and hotel apartments with colleagues. I eventually found a place in a home owned by an older Ethiopian woman who also lived there and spoke English. And she helped me a lot through my stay. But really, I took my sweet time to find the right place, and I think it was the right approach. So don't rush through that process. Um, and then regarding visa processes, try to start applying as early as possible. Interns don't typically travel, so your host organization may not be familiar with the visa processes. So just start looking into it early. Yeah, I had a similar experience this summer. Most interns don't travel, so it's a blessing, but also it requires you to be more proactive. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to reach out to me after the session if you're preparing for a similar experience or have any questions about living abroad. I did internships with the AIO, but I also worked with the AIO, like Jade said. So if I can help, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, let me share my slides again. All right. So yeah, thank you, Sarah. What you said reminded me also to state that the certificate of completion for pre-departure does expire after 1 calendar year. So again, Sarah did it 3 times, so you need to have it. What's the word? Still validated for the summer time. So if you did it also, if you went on exchange and you already completed the pre-departure orientation, then you could reuse the same certificate. However, if it expired, you need to make sure that it's valid, is what I was looking for. So yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. And again, Sarah did find her own internship all 3 summers in a row and prepared for travel. And definitely a great advice, to take it seriously because there are a lot of resources and complications that could happen from international travel. So it's important to get the right resources and to use the help from people around you. So again, feel free to write to us if you'd like to get in touch with Sarah, or to write any questions you might have for her in the chat. All right, we have only a few minutes left, and I want to make sure that we go through all the questions. So in terms of next steps, hopefully you feel informed and inspired by today's presentation. And if you're wondering, where do I start? This all sounds really overwhelming. Again, I would suggest going back to the checklist. It kind of summarizes a lot of what we covered today in terms, it's not specific to international travel, but it goes through the different steps that you would need in order to prepare for an internship. We have some upcoming workshops, CV writing and cover letter writing. So again, if you're thinking of applications, the best place to start is really updating your CV, whether you have one already or if you've never done one before. You can attend our workshops. We have 4 sessions happening, 2 of each, November 7, November 19, and November 14 and 26. These are all virtual workshops and they're not recorded. So they're really, you can participate during them. Again, if you have a draft, you can bring it, and they are really tailored to the AIO postings and applications. So again, whether you have a draft or you don't have one yet, I really encourage everybody to attend those sessions. And they are offered by an external organization called Yes Employment Entrepreneurship, where they are experts in the field of CV writing and cover letter writing. So again, we always refer you to the best experts in the field to help you write your application. If ever you cannot make it to the workshops, or if you do go to the workshops but you still need more personalized feedback, as I mentioned, the career planning services offer drop-in appointments, and they also have some guides that are available on their website to get started. So you can first consult the guides, and then once you have your draft, you can either drop in person. It's every day between 1:30 to 2:30 in the Brown Student Services building, and you can really bring your draft and they sit down with you. And once again, they are really experts, and they can review both CV and cover letters, and they can also just give you advising on the My Future platform and looking for opportunities more broadly. And again, they offer also additional workshops, info sessions, and other programs that are available to everybody on campus beyond the Faculty of Arts. So again, quick summary, we have our workshops happening in November and the CAPS drop-in hours happening every week. And we will have more events and info sessions also happening in the winter 2026. So I really recommend staying in touch. This is where you can find it on our website. So I will very quickly go through the website again. The internship opportunities, so you can find your own. The PDF is right here, the steps to an effective search, as well as all the links to the guides from CAP and their career advising appointment. If you're interested in research, sorry, I skipped the funding. So this is our awards page. You can read all the eligibility criteria for the awards. Again, this was from last summer, but you can consult for next summer. And award recipients page, so you can see all the profiles of students that have received awards in the past. So again, all 153 of them. And see a bit more about their profiles, which department are they in. You can see that we had a few U0 and U1 students find internships as well. So again, there is a diversity of students represented each year. If you're interested in research, I invite you to consult the info session on research internships. We're also in the process of updating the stories. So a lot of them are from 2024, but we'll progressively be updating the ones from 2025. And those are internship reports from last summer interns. And we have a recording of our annual events from this year as well. Our mentorship program, unfortunately, is closed for this round, but we'll have a lot of events that are open to everybody happening in the winter, where you'll be able to meet with other past interns. And again, if there's someone from the past recipients you'd like to talk to, you can always send us an email. The travel section, again, really summarizes everything that we talked about today in terms of pre-departure orientation, the travel registry, insurance, authentication, travel bans. So again, if you are traveling, make sure to read through everything. All the resources for student experience record and academic credits can be found under the document request section here. Upcoming events are all listed here. So if you want to register for the workshop, I invite you to go through these links, and they're all happening on Zoom. So you can register like you did for today's session. And finally, our drop-in hours. So all of our staff, we have two here today, Joel and Maria, will be able to advise you. So again, if you're looking at a certain posting or if you're not sure where to get started, you will be able to sit down with them, and we have drop-in hours Monday to Friday. And let me check through my slides. So again, quick summary. First step, really pre-departure registration happening next week, and registering for the upcoming workshop, as well as CAP drop-in hours. And make sure to register to our listserv so that you get the updates once we have our finalized dates for the deadlines for winter 2026 and all the summer 2026 opportunities. We also have social media on Instagram, but again, I think the listserv is more reliable in order to really make sure that you don't miss any information. If you have any questions, if you are able to stay a few more minutes, I will go through the chat, but otherwise you can always email us at aio@mcgill.ca. Or once again, the drop-in hours, we're located in the Leacock building on the 3rd floor in room 307. And once again, upcoming events on the website. All right, drop-in hours. This is our wonderful staff that you'll be able to meet with. They've all done internships themselves as well. So again, if you're unable to join the mentorship events, you can also talk to the staff during drop-in hours. I will skip through my commonly asked questions to go straight to the chat to see if there are any questions. I know we are a little bit past time, so thank you to all of our speakers as well. All right, I saw also our staff answered the questions in the chat, but do we need to apply to AIO's partners to be eligible to apply for the award? So the partnerships come with a set award amount, and to apply for the March deadline, you would find your own internship and then apply. And it's similar to the EO bursary, where you send in a budget and then we try to match the amount based on the funds available and the eligibility criteria. All right, I don't know if there's any other burning questions, but thank you, everybody. Again, today's session is recorded and will be posted on our website. So if we went a little fast on any of the sections, feel free to go back on it and to send us an email for questions. But if not, I will let everyone go back to their busy week. And again, thank you, Veronica, Anna, and Sarah for sharing all this information. And you'll have everyone's contact information listed on the slides as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jade.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, I will stop share and the record.